Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Katie, and this is where we discuss true crime, politics, and current affairs. Firstly, I apologise for the voice and the general ugh. My sister has very kindly given me her cold. But this is an important topic that needs to be discussed. Okay? So, here in the UK, we've had a reshuffle in our parliament yesterday, I believe it was. And there's been some controversial appointments, let's say. And the one that stuck out to me is David Cameron has rejoined the cabinet, but he's not an MP, i.e., he's not a member of parliament. He has not been voted in by his constituents. He does not have the right to sit in parliament as an MP. And yet he has been given the role of foreign secretary, which is a whole different issue. But he's back, as I said, as foreign secretary in Rishi Sunak's recent cabinet reshuffle. He was made a peer on Monday, and there's some rejigging of the rules to get him into Parliament, which, I mean, if it smells like corruption, looks like corruption, sounds like corruption, okay. Bear in mind that David Cameron was elected the Conservative Party leader in December 2005, and then in 2010, and then in 2015. Did we vote them in that many times? When I say we, not me, but he ended his time as Prime Minister in July 2016 after the Brexit referendum, where he wanted to stay in the EU, but the country narrowly voted to leave the EU. So he had to step down because his views were not coinciding with the people's views. So keep that in mind. He wanted to stay in the EU, as did I. I'm just going to put that out there, make it clear. But I'm not an MP and I'm not a foreign secretary. So David Cameron wanted to stay in the EU, but the majority of the British people didn't. So he had to leave, and this man is now foreign secretary, who will be dealing with the EU. Can anyone else see the absolute hypocrisy going on, or is it just me? Okay, but he hasn't been an MP since September 2016. So how can a former Prime Minister become Foreign Minister without being elected? Well, apparently, let me get, I've got a screenshot of something. Yes, okay. Let me share this screenshot with you. So, the reason Cameron can return to cabinet despite no longer serving as an elected MP is that King Charles III has just handed him the dignity of a barony of the United Kingdom for life. A hastily awarded life peerage that entitles him to enter the House of Lords and therefore take up a role. Now, King Charles is meant to stay out of politics. The royal family should be apolitical, if that's the right word. But the king or queen pretty much has to do what the government wants them to do. And unfortunately, the government wanted David Cameron to be Foreign Secretary. Therefore, they had to do some rejigging of the rules. This is permitted because under Britain's unwritten constitution, it does not expressly say that a person must be an MP to become a minister. However, the ministerial code does stipulate that a Secretary of State must be a member of the House of Commons or the Lords in order to qualify for the position. Making Mr Cameron a peer therefore, clears the path for him to serve as Foreign Secretary. Although the process of formalising his title could take several weeks, as it will require a number of legal documents, including letters patent and a writ of summons to be drafted, submitted and approved, i.e. we've got to make up some new rules so he can do it. It's so screwed up. But not everyone is happy with this, funnily enough. Scottish National Party, SNP. Okay. Their leader was quick to point out that Mr Cameron will only be accountable to Parliament's select committees rather than to the members directly, because he's not a member of the Commons. So he's in the House of Commons because he is Foreign Secretary, but he's not answerable to the people in the House of Commons. He doesn't have to answer to them. Tory MP Michael Fabricant was also among those complaining, saying that David Cameron won't be accountable to MPs other than before a select committee, i.e. a small group of people. You've seen it on the TV where they bark at someone who's been naughty. You can have one of them. But David Cameron will not be allowed to make statements, answer urgent questions, or take part in Foreign Office questions in the House of Commons. Let me say that again. David Cameron, who is now the Foreign Secretary, will not be allowed to make statements in the House of Commons. He will not be allowed to answer urgent questions in the House of Commons. He will not be able to take part in Foreign Office questions in the House of Commons. He can do what the hell he likes and no one can question it. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's probably things in place to stop him going a little bit too crazy. But this is screwed up. Absolutely, this is screwed up. Cameron said that, quote, he may have disagreed with some individual decisions by the current administration, but hailed his new boss as a strong and capable Prime Minister. Has he been looking at a different country? Seriously. Richie Sunak has been described by David Cameron as a strong and capable Prime Minister. You can't make this shit up. Cameron tweeted, "We are facing a daunting set of international challenges, including the war in Ukraine and the crisis in the Middle East." But what he decides to do about that, he can't be questioned about in the House of Commons. Mr Flynn, the Scottish National Party's leader, has also tweeted, "Truly remarkable that during a time of huge international unrest, not least in Ukraine and Gaza, the House of Commons will not be able to directly scrutinise the work of the Foreign Secretary. The UK is not a serious country." He wasn't holding back. And Liberal Democrat Foreign Affairs spokesman Layla Moran said, "Bringing back a scandal-hit unelected former Prime Minister who has been criticising Sunak's government at every turn has the stench of desperation." There is not even the bottom of the barrel left for Sunak to scrape in the Conservative Party. David Cameron was at the heart of the biggest lobbying scandal of recent times, i.e. the 2021 Green Seal lobbying scandal. Don't ask me what that is. Handing him a peerage makes a mockery of our honours system. Cameron's peerage should be blocked given his shady past. Pat McFadden, the Labour Party's national campaign coordinator, said that a few weeks ago, Rishi Sunak and David Cameron was part of a failed status quo. Now he's bringing him back as his life raft. This puts to bed the Prime Minister's laughable claim to offer change from 13 years of Tory failure. So just to reiterate, Mr. Flynn, the SNP leader, said it best. Truly remarkable that during a time of huge international unrest, the House of Commons will not be able to directly scrutinise the work of the Foreign Secretary. It's insane. It's actually insane. I just can't. He will not be allowed to make statements, answer questions, or take part in Foreign Office questions in the House of Commons. And our government has had to put into place brand new laws and rules and all that shiz in order to make this happen. Smells like corruption, looks like corruption, sounds like corruption, walks like corruption. All of it, in my humble opinion. But maybe I've just got my tinfoil hat on. Maybe I'm overreacting. But what do you think about this announcement that David Cameron has been made a lord so that they can get him into the House of Commons to be a foreign secretary that is not answerable to anyone? But what do you think? Am I biased? Yes, of course I'm biased. But let me know in the comments. This is an important milestone in our country's history. We are implementing new laws so that we can put into Parliament whoever we damn well like. Well, when I say we, our corrupt government, in my opinion. But I'm gonna stop now. Just try and save the voice. If you enjoy my content, please like, comment, subscribe. It helps placate the YouTube algorithm gods. And as I said, let me know in the comments what you think. And I am now going to go and take some medicine and curl up in a small ball. I promise I'm not normally like this. Thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated. This is a very important topic. Please share. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.